do down in the sea, you see.
It's the CL on the DL, homie.
Hey everybody, it's Amy, and I'm going to do another video in my getting out of debt, saving money for a down payment series. This is what I'm currently using. This is the new for 2025 budget by paycheck from the Budget Mom small workbook. I'm going to go to January. Hopefully you can see this. Let me zoom you in just a little. I'm going to do my debt payoff. So I do have them written down on little sticky notes because I knew I wouldn't remember if I didn't. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in. So I actually have more to put in here than I have spots because all of my student loans are broken down into small little loans. So I am going to include them because they need to be paid off too. Alright, so let's go ahead and put these in. How is everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I know it's a hard thing to think about putting your real numbers out there. But, you know, I was better. I had paid everything down and I slipped. And it happens. And it happens to everybody sometimes. So I'm not the first. I will be the last. And hopefully for me, this will be the last time I do it. But we'll see. This is what I'm saving for, and this is what I want to do. So, alright, so I'm putting camper here. I'm putting student loan here because as I pay off stuff, I will move those up and separate them out into what they actually are. And the Subaru payment here, actually, there's another, I'm just going to go ahead and write it down here to remind myself. There is another student loan. I'm not going to fill that part out. I'm not going to fill this part out. I'm just going to put the total because I will separate them out as I pay these off and have room to do that because there's multiple student loans and they're all small amounts, like $25, $20, $30 and under for each payment, and but they add up. So, all right, so let's go. I'm not going to fill in the balance because I'm going to wait until January 2nd to fill that in. But I can do the interest rate, minimum payment, and the order I'm paying them off is this order. So I can write that there. I don't have to because this is the order in which I'm going to pay them off. And I'm going to show you, I did it with my student loans as well. And so I can show you with that on a sticky note, I'll show you adding my student loans in, what it's looking like and why I've decided to do it this way. All right, balances I'll come back to. Look at these percentage rates. How many times have you really paid attention? Do you pay attention to what your interest rates are? I think that's something I need to do. Some of these cards, I am now learning if I can cancel some of these cards. Should I cancel some of these cards when they're paid off? I know it will hurt my credit if I do it when there's a bunch of other stuff owed because my debt utilization will drastically change because if I take a $1,500 card and get rid of it and there's zero on it and I get rid of that, or if I get rid of the older ones, my credit, it'll be different because of the length of time that I've had them. So there's a lot to think about with that. And I'm not sure what to do. The older cards, even if I've got a balance on them, I think I should keep them. Maybe there's something called I can't remember what it's called. it's basically you change your credit card. Like, it's still with the same company, but you can change it to one with them that doesn't have the interest, or not the interest, sorry, that doesn't have the fee, the monthly fee or the yearly fee or whatever fee you're paying, which is part of the reason why I want to get rid of some of them, because they do charge a fee. But I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so this varies. Each one's different. They go from 5%, 5 point something percent, 4%, and 3% something. So I'm not going to put, I'll just put this because they vary. I think the lowest ones are like 3.3 or something like that. So they're not very high. That's why they're way down here at the bottom. Minimum payments. I don't know that I've paid much attention to these either. I mean, I know how much my payment is because I pay it every month. But as far as adding them all up, like, that's, this here, doing this has really opened my eyes. Like, I've known that my interest rates are high. I know that the amount of money that I pay out every month is high. I know none of the stuff I wanted to look at. But, if you don't look at it, you don't know what's going out every month. You don't know what you're paying. It's hard. It's eye-opening. It's a little scary. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, it's a little embarrassing. But, you know what? For right now, it is what it is. And I can't change it if I don't acknowledge it. And to be perfectly honest too, looking at these numbers has made me want to make this change. By showing these numbers to you and being embarrassed by these numbers, it's gonna make me want to get rid of them, because if I'm showing you every month, I don't want to show you that I didn't do anything, right? Because that would be even worse than showing you what I'm starting at. All right, so I'm going to put this on here. This is, I did this with the program I showed you in the last video. And this is added in with my student loans are added in. So, if I do the snowball method, it'll be paid off, all of this will be paid off in July 2028 if I do the snowball method. And that's if these aren't, I tried to estimate as close as I could to what this was, so that I'm not going to write the actual amount in here until January, but I tried to get as close as possible when I was doing this estimate, just to show you, because when I showed you the last video, either one didn't matter. It was like $1,000 difference, and it didn't matter which one I did. They both paid off in the same month. The one I had quite a bit more money left over than the other. I can't remember how much it was. Maybe $1,900. But either way, it was paid off in the same month. I just had more left over in that month if I paid it by the avalanche method. But I did it again. And this is what I like about this program, is because you can go in there and tweak it and change things and see how it estimates the changes will affect you. Snowball method paid off July 2028. Avalanche paid off May of 2028. So it's not a lot of difference, but it is a difference. Last payment amount is around $247 in May. So yes, you're still having to pay something in May, but not as much as the snowball method, which is $1,258. So $1,000 extra in my pocket in May. So I pay it off. I don't have to pay June, don't have to pay July, and $1,000 off of the payment in May. So that's pretty nice. Total interest. Now, this is an estimate based on this program, that Vertex 42 program. May or may not be exactly correct. This may not be perfect, but this is an estimate. But you can see, look at the difference. If I pay it by snowball method, which is the smallest balance first, I will pay $23,386.44. I think this right here is the part that was like, what? Like that's the amount of interest. And this is paying it off early. This is paying all this off by May of 2028. A little over 3 years. This camper loan is a 12-year loan. And I can get it paid off. By the time I get it paid off, it would be a 4-year loan instead of a 12. So if this interest rate is $23,386.44, paying it off in 3 years, great day. How much interest am I going to pay if I don't pay it off in 3 years? This is crazy, right? So this is the snowball method with the $500 extra. You can do the snowball method without any extra. It'll take longer, but you still can do it that way and still get your debt paid off. But I'm going to put $500 extra. Avalanche method, $18,889.34. Still a lot of interest, but it's $4,497.10 less than that amount of interest, just by doing the avalanche method instead of the snowball. I like this because I would like to see things get paid off, and I like to see those zero balances, which, I mean, I will see the zero balances, I just won't see them as quickly. This here, I just can't, in my mind, I can't justify seeing some of these smaller balances go down before. I just can't do that. Like, I just can't, in my mind, justify doing this method, even though I would love to see the balances go down faster than they will doing the avalanche method. If you need to get motivated, do this. Absolutely do start with this. And when you get into it a little bit and you're like, I don't really want to pay all that interest, then switch over. You can do it however you want. I mean, you can change. If I feel like I need to see some progress because I'm getting burnt out and I'm like, I just need some progress. Like, I need to see something paid off. I can pay off one of my smaller cards and put the rest of the money towards the bigger. So, I mean, you can combination. You can do a combination. Pay half on the one that is the biggest interest, and then pay half on a smaller card so that you're doing both. This program, I don't think, allows you to see what that would do, but I mean, you can do it how you want. You can start this way, you can finish off this way, but that right there, just that difference, $4,500 I will save by doing it this way. Estimated, of course. But anyway, I'm trying to keep this short. This is my plan. This is the order that I'm going to do them in. And like I said, as I pay these off and they disappear from my list every month, then, which is going to take a little while because there's a big balance on here. It's going to take like 10 or 11 months to pay this off. It'll be like this time next year when I'm starting to pay off something else. But as I get to these, they'll go faster. But this one's a big one. And look at that percentage rate. Like, that's a huge percentage. I knew when I signed the paperwork that it was, but you just kind of think, okay, the payment's $307, I can afford the payment. You don't really think about how much you're paying back until I didn't anyway, until I did this. And then that's that number. I can't do the snowball. I can't give up $4,500 to pay it so I can see progress. I want to see progress, but I will. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back on here just to save them. As I pay the extra debt, I'll say to who, extra amount, the date, and I'll go. Sometimes there may be more than one of these as things get smaller and I'm still paying the $500, but for a while. That whole $500 is going to this first one, and it's going to be like 10 or 11 months. I think it's 10. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's my plan. I'm going to go ahead and stick these back in here for now. I will come back in January and put the totals in, the balances, and I'll show you doing it on the computer program, and we'll tweak these numbers. But I wanted to keep this to see what my numbers look like right now compared to, you know, what the balances are, because all of my balances aren't correct, and I'm hoping some of them will go down a little bit. So we'll tweak these numbers again in January and see what that looks like. But there you go. That's my video, and I'll show you a sneak peek of what I've started planning. There's where I've started planning my January budget. I've done it on paper first because I want this one to be neat. I plan on keeping this so that I can show my progress every year. But I've already filled out my monthly for January. I fill out my monthly early because my December paychecks need to pay these bills. So I need to know what these bills are in order to make sure that I save enough money in December for them. So I'm always a little bit ahead on those. But anyway, I get an extra paycheck in January, but I do have to use some of that to catch up. And then the rest of it I'll put in savings. So I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.